Testing, testing. This is working. Hello, everyone. It's been a hot minute since I last streamed. I think back like September, end of regular season. Yeah, so I was gonna do more in the off season, but things happened and I just didn't have time. So, unfortunate. But we're back. CBLOL 2024 rosters have locked for next split already. I was actually waiting last night, desperately to see if the GCD Global Contract Database, GCD would update. They just updated it earlier or overnight last night, but it's still not perfectly done. So you can see like INTZ's roster did not get updated, and I'm pretty sure that's not the roster we're going to use. So I'm kind of just running with what Shotana had leaked, which is pretty much going to be the roster. My sound's kind of soft. Hold on a second. Let me up my volume. How do I? Give me a sec here. Mic. Yes. Let me up my gains. Testing. Better? Same? Worse? You know what, let's up it. Better? Okay. I'll keep it like that. Let me know if I need to increase or decrease it. If the BGM's too loud or too soft or don't care, just let me know. Either way. So yeah, we're just gonna run over the rosters. I'm gonna go alphabetically. So we'll start with Fluxu a little bit. I will say a lot of the rosters have changed this split. Like there's been a lot of changes for most of the roster. Off the top of my head, I want to say this is one of the most volatile off seasons. A bit more. I can up it a bit more, bro. Here, let me. Okay. I upped it just a tiny little bit. I'm a little bit scared because on my side it's showing as like in the amber range, about to max out. So yeah, kind of don't want to max out there. Okay, yeah. So we'll start with Fluxu. Fluxu basically blew up their entire roster. The entire everybody left. Heck, even one of their coaches left as well. So, oh, it's supposed to. Okay, I usually try and keep it like near the top of green, a little bit pushing to amber, but okay, yeah. Hopefully this is good enough. I can, if it's supposed to go a little bit into red, then I can push it up a bit more if need be. But for now, yeah, Fluxu, their roster completely blew up. They lost like everybody, which is insane because if you think about 2023 Fluxu, this was the money roster. This was the roster that was that they just spent huge money on, big names almost across the board. DeSamus was supposed to be the newbie who they were going to build up. Yeah, and it just kind of didn't work. They got scrapped for parts. And they've gone a complete 180 now. Instead of like a big money roster, they've gone for a lot of academy players. You can see literally almost every player here is an academy player, except for Chiari, who was academy, 2 years ago? So 2.5 years ago. So big swap up. We can talk a little bit about the academy players as well, because they didn't just promote the Fluxu academy roster, interestingly enough. They kind of picked up parts from everywhere. Now, Sting and Scamber actually have previous CBLOL experience. They played a little bit in the CBLOL. I thought Scamber was fine. Scamber played with Red, filling in when Kuri left. And it was okay. So that's a solid piece. Kojima, to me, is the big piece that they're picking up from their academy system. Kojima played really well in academy. Though, I will say, I think he was crutching a little bit on Kaisa. Like, he was good in general, but I didn't have him as like top 380 carry unless he's on Kaisa. And then when he's on Kaisa, this guy's absolutely nuts. I think he got 2 pentakills on Kaisa. So that'll be an interesting pickup. My only concern is when I think about the 80 carry promotions from CBLOL Academy previously, we had 2, which was, who was it again? It was Juliera and Raven from Kaboom. And that they kind of didn't pan out either. Raven found his stride a little bit on the Kaisa, got the first pentakill of CBLOL last split. Again, very much reminiscent to me of Kojima. So I'm a little bit worried for Kojima stepping up. But then again, you've got examples like Brentzy, who stepped up and just absolutely took over the league in the 2-0 as well. So cautiously optimistic. Kojima is kind of the guy I'm looking for this roster. Yeah, and then we've got Sting and Fu. Sting for Kate Star's Academy was massive. Like, this guy's a huge carry in the jungle. Watch out for his Lilia. His Lilia is really, really good. So I like the jungle pickup, and it's not the hyper aggro junglers we've seen from Academy like Drake Hero or like AC last split. Sting, more a farming style jungler, but I think that might actually work better for CBLOL. So these are the 2 who I'm kind of looking out for the most part. Fu being picked up from Furia actually surprised me a bit. I did not have him in my cards to be promoted up. There were 2 sort of mid laners who really caught my eye in CBLOL Academy, and that was Dioj from Kaboom Academy and Aithuza from Red Academy. Fu is not bad by any means. I want to make that clear. I don't think he's bad, but I also, on that Furia Academy squad, they ended up finishing 8th and did not make playoffs. That roster had issues trying to come together, it felt like, for me. So it felt like Steiner or bust on that one. Their jungler or bust. Wait, actually, did I confuse Sting and Steiner? Hold on. I think I confused Sting and Steiner. Steiner's the one who plays Lilia? Let me double check that. Yeah, my bad. I got them switched up. Yeah. No, Sting is the Lilia player. Okay. Yeah. So Fu didn't really stand out to me too much in Academy, so a little bit surprised. Yo, Silas, long time no see, buddy. Yeah, I missed all of y'all in the CBLOL English chats. Yeah. So Fu, I don't know, man. Like, he's okay. He's not bad by any means, but I'm just trying to think, like, when he ever really, like, what this roster is looking for from Fu to be able to do. So, yeah, this is the one where I got a bit question marks. Scamber will be fine. Chiari's a beast, an absolute beast. him joining this roster, I think it's partially because he's a younger player, and I feel like Fluxu has just decided to all in on development. So he's still young, but really, really good. In any other year, I might have questioned why Chiari didn't get a better offer, but I think this split, the whole sort of situation around the top lanes and a lot of the players coming in has made it kind of tough. So as Flux is a top 6-7, not gonna lie. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest. I actually don't hold out a ton of hope for this roster in their first split. I think the transition between Academy and CBLOL can be kind of rough, and when you put a full Academy team in, kind of like what Liberty tried to do last split, or last year, pardon me, and then last split to a lesser extent, it often doesn't end well for them. And I don't think this roster has enough experience to really pop off. We saw Chiari and Liberty last split. It wasn't enough to carry that team. So I think this is going to be the new Liberty. I suspect, going to end late. Oh, Silas has the inside information. You send me some of that inside info? I'm down for it. Okay, I'm going to leave them. Ooh. Hello, Wooks. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Yeah, so... Yeah, maybe you can change my mind, Silas, but for now, I'll put them... Oh, okay, tier maker. I'm going to open this up. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've seen these tier list makers, and I am going to say I'm not going to do it because I was thinking about doing it, but then the players I think are actually really hard to rank because when I look at the players and teams, a lot of it's going to be about synergy as well. And I don't think I can accurately reflect the synergy by tiering the players. So I'm going to leave the players alone for now because especially for jungle and support, it gets complicated. And I'm just going to look at I think where the teams are going to be for now. Also, don't want to get flamed too much with player Silas. So I'm going to stay with the just the teams for now. Yeah, so I think Fluxu, this is developmental roster. And when I saw the rosters too, the first thought that sprung to my head was it's very binary. You really had to. You know what? Tell you what, I'll do the. Should I? Nah. You know, I'll be happy to discuss specific players and my thoughts on them, I guess, but I really don't want to rank them. I just find it really hard to rank the players, and there's enough players that I'm not that familiar with that I kind of don't feel super comfortable ranking them. But yeah, I can chat about them, and I will be talking a little bit about my thoughts on these players. But yeah, where was I? So yeah, Fluxu, I think it's development roster. My thoughts when I saw a lot of the rosters were it's very binary right now. It seems to be either that they're building dev rosters, which won't pop off this split, or they're going for big name teams, and they're trying to desperately win this split. I don't want to be flamed. No, man, I will die on certain hills. I'm willing to be flamed for certain takes, but other takes, but yeah, this is not the hill I want to die on. I will die on the pain hill. Yeah, so for me, Fluxu just want the dev rosters. They're just looking to build a cheap team and grow that team. And when I say cheap team, that's not an insult. Costs are a thing. It's esports winter right now. A lot of other leagues are downsizing. Props to CBLOL for not downsizing at all. In fact, growing their academy scene. So yeah, I think having a cheaper roster and growing your players, developing your players, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that this split will not be their split. Fluxu says it's a dev roster, Wolves, but I don't see the investment in the coaching staff to back this game. So actually, interesting point about the coaching staff. I was told apparently that the coaching staff can be added anytime. They don't have to lock by now. So I don't know if they're adding anybody else besides on meta for now. So maybe they'll get some coaching staff. I agree though. Looking at the only coaching staff they have listed right now is on meta, and that's not. I don't know on meta well enough to say. I mean, there used to be Coach Turtle who was their head coach, and that was a big name money team. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying for now, Wilkes. Okay, so T tier for Fluxu to start. Then we've got Furia. Oh man, so Furia is one of those teams where this is why I kind of didn't really want to rank the players because I'm not familiar with Destroy at all. So let's look up Destroy, who's coming in from the Turkish league. I do know Mir. So for you all who don't know, I'm from NA. and I follow the NA dev scene very, very closely. I used to cast for Proving Grounds, which is like their tier 3, and I've always followed the tier 2. So Istanbul Wildcats, this one. Okay. Yeah, so I'm familiar with Mir. Not so much with Destroy, though. These mid teams, I'll get. I'm running them alphabetically, Silas. I'll get there. By the way, did you watch Coach Seal's stream yesterday about VKS? Oh, KSR is actually going to be the last team I talk about because alphabetically they're at the end. But yeah, I was watching Seal's stream yesterday. Yeah. So it sounds like they're going to be a dev roster. Okay. Ooh. So it looks like Destroy is doing well in the TCL. Quite a few first place finishes. Okay. So maybe he'll be good. I mean, TCL I always thought was competitive with CBLOL in the past. Now it's a small region, but it's your job, man. Sorry for bothering me? Nah, don't be sorry for bothering me. Be sorry for spamming. How do I... Wait, how do I delete this? Silas, if I make you a mod, can you delete that? Because I am... Wait, how do I even make you a mod, man? I do. Hold on, how do I... Bro, I don't even know how to Twitch stream at all, man. Hold on, let me do it this way. I'm trying to do it from OBS. I do not know how to do this from OBS. Okay, hold on. Let me delete that message first, and then... Silas, how do I mod you? Bro, this is becoming a teach RMC how to mod stream. Okay. Flash mod. Silas? G2? Hey. There we go. You're my mod now, Silas. Thank you, buddy. I do not stream much, though. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I deleted that message too. Perfect. Yeah. So I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know about Destroy very much. So yeah, let's take a quick look. Let's see what his stats were like. Last split. EMEA, spring event, summer event. What the frick? He's playing Ezreal top? Yo, TCL be wilding out there. I thought we were wilding with Robo, but Robo was pretty standard this split. Okay, so a lot of carries. Wooks. It's fine, Wooks. I saw the message. I answered it. It sounded good. Yeah, okay, so Destroy looks like a carry top laner. That should fit well into CBLOL. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about this guy. And then we'll kind of see how it goes a little bit from there. But yeah, the thing too is I understand the change for Furia. I really like the Furia kids roster, like Tuts, Ayu, Zai, Goot, and Bitao. Super Bagre. I thought Bagre was like catfish, like when they're not as good as they're supposed to be. Yeah, I like the Furia roster, but I understand that they want to switch top laners because CBLOL is such a carry top laner oriented league. Bitao was such a good role player. I feel bad for him, but yeah, Furia wants to kind of, I guess, scale up. I guess last year was meant to be their developmental split with Furia kids. And so this year they're shoring up. They retained Tuts, Ayu, and Zai, who are really, really strong, really, really solid, by the way. I like that they kept these players. And then they're kind of switching them up. Goot. Bagre, catfish, but that's soccer slang. Yeah. Goot to me is more like Bagre than Bitao. Like Bitao did what he was supposed to do, which was be a role player, play weak side, you know, do whatever the team, like just not take resources and scale. But Goot, in a way, feels more Bagre to me because it felt like he disappointed me. Goot has so much potential. He's such a good player. Him and Desames were weirdly mid. Like I was waiting for them to pop off. So I guess, yeah, you know what? They didn't pop off all year long. And now we're seeing Mir come in from North America. Mir is a really good jungler, at least in the tier 3, tier 2 scene. And yeah, he played, like with APA, who's now playing on the Team Liquid main roster. He played with Arrow as well. So he's been brought up pretty well. I like this being sort of his outing into tier 1. And Mir, was already in Oceania as well, did well there. So the flexibility Mir has, and the different style of champions he can play, I think there's a really good chance there. You can see, he plays things like Maokai and Poppy on one hand, but he also plays things like the Kindred. So huge champion Ocean, this guy. And we'll do what the team needs. Yeah. Same level as Croc. Maybe. I in some ways, I think he's better than Croc. Like, Croc takes a lot of risks. And sometimes it feels like Croc didn't really think things through, and he's just trying to outhand the opponent. Whereas I think Mir doesn't put himself in that situation as much. He's much more intelligent about the way he goes about his ganks and his pathing. So I don't know if the hands will necessarily be there, because tier 2, tier 3 North America is not as mechanically intensive as CBLOL. So if he gets forced into like early 1v1s and 2v2s, I don't know how that's going to go, but I don't think Mir will put himself in bad position. So I like the change up from Furia there. As to everybody else in that roster, we already said before, IU Zai really, really solid. I like this bot lane. I do think, though, that IU and Zai might not be, as a bot lane, a top 5 bot lane if the Pyke is removed, is my issue. So I think they'll be good. I don't know how good is. And IU is very mechanically good, but his clutch factor is not as strong as like Natuno, Titan, Root, that sort of thing, which is kind of weird. And I don't know if it's a team issue. We'll have to see how they pop off. I think this is probably Furia to me. Middle of the pack team, like 6-7, maybe. I might move these guys around depending on how, because I don't want to like overfill one tier. So I'm gonna put them at a challenger C tier, like around playoffs or just outside playoff tier for now. And then we'll kind of see how it goes, because I am cautiously optimistic for this team. As Croc used to be. Yeah. I don't know if Croc's macro play got worse after getting the CBLOL or not. Like on Rensga, he was pretty good. I feel like he got a bit sloppy on Loud, but it kind of works because Loud's so good anyways that they just kind of make up for it. INTZ next. This one's an interesting one. I actually really don't know how to feel. INTZ in the offseason felt like they were very late to the party. Like, everybody else got the players they wanted, and then INTZ were trying to fill up the rest. I had heard that they weren't going to keep Yampy at first, but I'm very glad they actually kept Yampy, because I think Yampy's really good. Yeah, INTZ, it's a bit rough for them. I think they'll probably do better than some of the dev rosters this split, because the dev rosters need some time to scale up. But I definitely agree. It felt like they lost the offseason a little bit. So I think losing ZZK was huge. ZZK was big for this team. And ZZK just became free agent. So they picked up Ty instead. I don't know if Ty saves them money, because Ty's a big name. Yeah, I agree. It's a downgrade. Like, okay, so my thoughts on INTZ last split. They were such a good team. Like, I expected them to really, really pop off, and they had a good playoff run. I would have liked to see this roster stick together, but they already tried, I guess, for 2 splits, and they wanted a change. And I don't know if ZZK wanted to leave, or whether it was INTZ who asked him to leave, because I feel like ZZK was a huge thing. Ty is fine. Ty is solid, but Ty is not a big carry player anymore. He's not been a big carry player for a while. He's been carry champions, but he's not popping off the games. He's doing his job. So Ty to me is like really, really mid in the top lane, unless he resurges. Yampy is good, so I'm happy Yampy stayed. Aithuza, I really liked Aithuza. I heard last split that Aithuza was coming to CBLOL, like in CBLOL 23 split 1. People were saying, oh, he's going to get promoted. I was so hyped for it. He didn't get promoted. So I'm happy that he's getting promoted now. That said, I don't think Aithuza is going to be top 5 mid in CBLOL. Not this split. I think he needs some time to grow, but his mechanics is better, especially on his Azir. Yeah, Aithuza was a super mid in CBLOL Academy, 100%. But in CBLOL, it's going to be tough. So he's really good on Azir, and for me, he's a dev beast. Like, I'm looking for him to grow. And he's got the hands for it. Now he's just got to get... Yeah, so he just has to get the head. But I like the fact that Yampi's on this team with him to do that, because I think Yampi's a really good jungler to work with. You know what, Wilkes? I'm kind of okay. The two academy mid laners I wanted to see promoted was Aithusa or Dioj. Either of them would be really good. I think Dioj had a better split too than Aithusa, but I think Aithusa's been doing really well, better for longer. So either of them would have been fine. I'm okay that Aithusa coming up as well, and I don't think Kaboom's gonna let go of Dioj, because yeah, Dioj is a really really good piece. I think Red is willing to let go of Aithusa because Red is willing to spend a bit more money on their mid laners. And they just picked up Greftar too, right? So Greftar's a really young player. Let's not forget, he was a rookie, year? 3 splits? 4 splits ago? And then, or 4 splits or 5 splits ago, when he just came out of Academy, played playoffs for Red and won. So he's still really young. And Red will probably want to retain Aegis Greftar for a long time. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised they let go of Aithusa, but I would be surprised if Kaboom lets go of Dioj. So unfortunate. Ninja Kiwi stayed as well, which I'm happy about. Ninja Kiwi, I think we saw last split how he can be good. Still not top 380 carry, but he's a really stable team fighting player. And then damage. Oh man. So Silas, you said you watched Coach Steele's channel yesterday when he was talking about players. He was saying that damage is like a top 3 support, I think. Like he had damage above Pro Delta. I don't know about that, man. I think damage is a solid support. Well, actually, okay. Damage is usually a solid support player, but he sometimes randomly throws. So I think this is going to be a very safe bot lane between damage and Ninja Kiwi, but I don't think it's going to be lane dominant. He has to be more opinions. They can't say a lot. He's got a lot of opinions. And I'm down for it. I think, it's fine. Like, even if I disagree with some of them, that's okay. We all have opinions. So overall, I think this particular roster, this is going to be a very mid roster, all in all. I almost want to say it's like a dev roster, but it's not, because there's only Aithusa is a dev piece on this. But this is not a roster I feel like that was developed to win anything. So, man, Kate Star's at the bottom because they put Vivo, so they'll be the last thing we talk about. So INTZ, I think, will be like 6th, 7th, kind of similar to Furia. Sorry, I'm muting because I'm coughing quite a lot today, unfortunately. Do I think this is a better roster than Furia? I guess is the question right now. I don't. I think it's about the same as INTZ and Furia. I think Furia has a higher ceiling to develop this split. So I might push them down, Silas. It depends on how the other teams rank out for now. I'm a bit hesitant. Yeah, like I said, I might shift things around. If too many people end up in Challenger tier for me, I'll push them down. Okay. Kaboom is the next team. You see I'm too nice? Then let's talk about Kaboom. Because I know everybody's like, oh, Kaboom, super Kaboom. They bought all the big players. They got all the big names. It's insane roster. Yeah, sure. Kind of, maybe, no. So we've seen super rosters made before, and it doesn't work out. And in my head, I'm thinking of this Kaboom roster versus like the Fluxu roster. Yeah, the bag team. The Fluxu roster, the red roster from last year. Right? Like those were the big money teams. This is the big money team, the bag team this time. Let's start with Lonely. So I think Lonely's really good. This is a good top laner to build around. And we've seen him in CBLOL now. We know that he's used to it. He'll be okay. His laning, fine. Great. The biggest problem I felt was like Lonely was on a bad team, and also Flawless and Lonely just never connected well. Like Flawless just struggled like unbelievably hard. And even when Scary came in, Lonely was still on an island. And as I said, the team de Bagasa, the bag team. Yes. Okay. Sorry, for a second I read the time. I was like, what is the time? I forgot that time is team in Portuguese. Yes. So okay, I like this, and I like that Malrang's coming in, because hopefully Malrang can kind of connect with Lonely a little bit better, the sort of Korean connection, and then get to the rest of the map. So I like that he's Korean. And I also like that Malrang was a ganking machine. Like back in 2022 when he was on Rogue, or is it 2023 split 1? 2022 when he was on Rogue, like Malrang's perma ganking, like he would throw his entire early farm away just to get his lanes ahead. So I really like that this is a team where you have really strong lanes. So I like the idea of it. But last split when he was on Koi, he kind of didn't look very good. Like it was like if teams could figure him out, then he just couldn't do anything. So because of that, I am worried that he'll fall behind if he can't get early ganks off. And I think in CBLOL, once teams kind of get a hold of him, get a hang of that, it might happen again. So we'll have to see. House, really mechanical player. And I was really hyped for House when he was on Fluxu last split. But it didn't work out. And he kind of choked a little bit in playoffs. So that's my concern a little bit with House coming in here. Like he got everything he could have wanted on Fluxu already, and it kind of didn't work. So joining Kaboom, it feels like more of the same. So we'll see how that one goes. And then the bot lane. This is where I'm actually kind of interested because everybody was really hyped on Natuno. I'm going to be honest. I thought he was good last year, or the year before, pardon me. Last year, I didn't think he was that good on Los Grandes. But Los Grandes was a team that was an absolute dumpster fire because Trickster played out the org and just left, like after, was it 3 weeks? Los Grandes just got completely screwed and they just had revolving doors. Their top laners were shifting all the time. Like, it's not a fair look to Natuno. So to me, this is a proving split for Natuno. Because right now, I don't even have Natuno as my top 3 AD carry in CBLOL. And, yeah. Sure, Silas, you can. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm just chilling today anyways. So this to me is the proving split for Natuno. This is the player I'm looking at. If he pops off, I think Kaboom will be a top team. If he doesn't pop off, then I don't think that he's going to be a top team. Seo's the best player in CBLOL right now. So that's like, no matter what, Seo's is going to be good. So because of that, I do think they'll definitely be a top 4 team. But I don't know if I think they're a top 2 team. And my biggest concern is actually Malrang. Concern is Malrang. And whether or not he integrates with the team and with CBLOL specifically. Because normally when you've got a player like this, they'll scale up. But to me, it's a race for Malrang, whether Malrang scales up faster. Like, does he fit in faster, or do the other teams figure him out faster? So because of that, to me, like, it's a race. And I think if Kaboom does not win this split, I think split 2 will be even harder for this team. And I could be completely wrong. But, yeah, for now, I actually don't think Kaboom's a top 2 team. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack from that when everybody's thinking this is the bag team. But, yeah, I've only got them top 4, not even top, like, questionably top 3. Silas, what are my thoughts on Ranger in a major region? Oh, I was shocked, yeah, that Ranger wasn't on a CBLOL team when the dust settled. But I kind of understand, because I think the top teams, or the teams that were more likely to win, had already secured their rosters earlier on. And I don't know what the deal was for Ranger, unfortunately. He was in talks with Kaboom, right? So I don't know if he got screwed by Kaboom last second. So I was shocked. Ranger going to a major region, I would be down to see that. But I also don't know if he'll perform well in a major region. Last split he was playing support on a team that was a dumpster fire. Same situation as Natuno. I can't tell how good he really was because the team was so bad. In the jungle role, Ranger didn't have the best of splits the last 2 years in the jungle role. I remember last year, 2020, oh sorry, not 2023, but 2022. I was very down on Ranger and Tai. I thought that, all these guys had kind of been washed up a little bit, but in 2023 split 1, Ranger did okay. So if he can improve from there, then I think he might do well he might do okay in a major region. But if he performs like he did in 2023 split 1, then I think Ranger might have problems and probably wouldn't be in the top half. Would not do that well in a major region. I don't think he'd be like terrible and the reason why teams lose, but I don't think he would be able to elevate a team in a major region significantly. Those are just my thoughts. I could be wrong. Because he's a very vocal person, and the few times I've heard him speak or spoken to him, he's very well spoken. So I'm sure he's a very good communicator. It's more just like, in terms of sheer carry power, I don't know if he has what it takes in a major region. At least not right away. Okay, Liberty, our other dev team. Liberty is doing what Liberty does. And on one hand, I'm excited that they do this and they promote their academy team. On the other hand, I'm going to be honest, it didn't work, right? You look at the Liberty 2023 roster. This is like a promotion roster from their existing Liberty academy team, or at the time. And they just did the same thing again, right? They just promoted the entire Liberty academy team except for Mikau, who was their AD carry. And when I'm looking at this, like, Makes is okay. Makes is solid. Liberty was what, second place, or did they win, or was they second place in academy? Let me just double check. I know they did. I remember they did really, really well, but I can't remember if they beat Kaboom at the end of it. No, they didn't. They fell short of beating Kaboom. Yeah. Okay. So wait, Makes was not there. The top laner was SKB. I put the wrong information there. Where was Makes playing? Makes played Liberty 2023 split 2. Oh, he played for Loud, sorry, not Liberty. I'm blind, my bad. It's split 2, yeah. Yeah, so they're just promoting academy players, and I'm gonna be honest, Makes is okay. Like, Makes did nothing wrong, but Makes also didn't stand out to me. So this is a straight downgrade from Kiari, and that's no knock on Makes. Kiari was just really, really, really good. So I don't think there's any academy player who can fill Kiari's shoes. Super Clever is really good, and we'll talk about him later. But even then, for Super Clever, it's very different. Super Clever is more a team fight style player. Kiari is a lane dominant, like solo carry style player. AC versus Drake Hero. I know there's a lot of hype around Drake Hero. I like Drake Hero. But AC was really good, guys. Like, AC wasn't the problem for Liberty. He was the best player. And to me, AC and Drake Hero do the same thing. Like, they're both aggressive early junglers. They both, get really strong leads for their team. This is the same. This is not... to me, this isn't an upgrade. So, good for Drake Hero. Drake Hero deserves a shot, 100%. Makes went with Loud to MSI as 6th player as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, but he didn't actually play, right, at MSI? Like, he went... I'm sure he bootcamped and everything, but... yeah, I don't think he actually got to play, so unfortunate. Yeah, so to me, AC to Drake Hero, this is a side grade. And good on Drake Hero, but AC got robbed a little bit. So I don't think there's an upgrade whatsoever. Avenger to Piloto is interesting because I wasn't high on Avenger, and Avenger didn't do anything. He was one of the worst performing mid laners in CBLOL last split. Piloto, on the other hand, Piloto is not a carry. We've seen Piloto play before. And I think it was Miners at the time, Miners Academy, and then he played up in Miners for a little bit. Piloto is... I don't want to say he's KDA player, but he's got very low deaths. Very, very low deaths. But also very low impact. And he tends to lose lane. So he'll be down CS. He won't die, but he'll be down CS and he'll be down pressure. So Piloto is just like a holding mid. Like, he's just more about team fighting later on. So yeah, I don't know. I guess he'll be an upgrade because Avenger died a lot. Piloto doesn't. Maybe upgrade? I'm fine with Piloto stepping up, but I think I'd take Aithusa or Dioj over him, actually, personally. And then we got Mikau. Mikau's back. He took a split off after he did a bit of Academy. And to be honest, I think Mikau in Academy is actually kind of funny to me. He doesn't deserve to be in Academy. This guy, coin flip champ, man. He'll either carry you or he'll feed. Like the Mikau getting caught out montages. I've seen those. But I like the idea of the veteran presence on this team so that he can help get this team sort of into CBLOL, hopefully get them past like the rough spots. So I like the idea of Mikau. Cavallo, I think, is CBLOL ready, and he's really solid. Him and Waz, honestly, to me, are about the same level, so both of them are CBLOL ready. So I'm fine with this. I think the bot lane is the strongest lane for Liberty. This is definitely a dev team. Whoops, I don't know why I all caps that by accident. They're a dev team, but also I don't think they're stronger. I really don't. I don't know what Liberty is thinking with the whole change up. Like if you develop these players and sold these players, then that makes sense. But they developed them and then just kind of left them. And then now you're just redeveloping a whole new roster for no reason. I don't understand this. So Liberty D tier for me. Better or worse than Fluxu? Ooh, that's a tough one. Are they better or worse than Fluxu? I think Piloto is better than Fu. I think Drake Hero is different from Sting and has more early game impact. I think Chiari's better than Makes. I think Mikao versus Kojima is a question of potential versus current. You know what? For this split one, I'm going to put Liberty over Fluxu. But I think Fluxu has more space to grow, has a higher ceiling. Because I think Mikao is already pretty much capped out, right? Like, we've seen Mikao before. He's won stuff. Good for him. And he's a good player. But he also isn't improving anymore. So, yeah. And then, I just realized, alphabetically, it feels like all the strongest teams are at the end. So, we get to Los Grandes next. Los Grandes, the dumpster fire. This org had it so rough last split. Maybe it's harsh to say this, but I'm kind of glad Coach Stardust is gone. I was not a fan of what he did with the roster. And it was even worse that the whole thing just like backfired. And I was so sad for Natuno and Ranger and Lava even on this roster. So I'm sad that Lava left at the end of the day. I think Lava started acclimatizing to CBLOL and started doing better for CBLOL. Natuno and Ranger as a bot lane is actually really excited to see. I'm so sad we didn't get to see more of them. Like their laning was solid. I don't know if they necessarily, I'd say they won every single bot lane, like Ranger's saying, but they were like a solid roster, a solid bot lane for that roster. But yeah, so they had to change everything up. That had to happen. And let's start from Super Clever. So I mentioned Super Clever. I think Super Clever was hands down best top laner in CBLOL Academy. And the only other one who I'd say I would put up with him was Yups from Pain Academy. But Yups was like a hard carry. Super Clever is a teamfight beast. This guy, his sense for engage is so good. This core 3 with 2 imports. Kind of true. Yeah, I will talk about the core 3. Actually, let's talk about it now. Super Clever, Cello, and Envy. Yeah, I'm kind of with you a little bit there, Wilkes. Though I'm actually curious why you don't like this core 3. Because I don't like this core 3 because I think Super Clever and Cello are rookies. And you're putting them 2 rookies. So it's 2 rookies, 2 imports, and 1 vet. And if it was like 3 or 2 veteran Brazilians with like maybe 1 rookie, then I'd be kind of okay with that. Or better. I prefer like 3 Brazilian veterans with 2 like imports. But now you've got 2 rookies, 2 imports, and 1 veteran. This roster feels very volatile to me. So, and I almost feel like the rookies might suffer for it as well as the imports. So that's why I don't like it. But I'm curious, Wilkes, if like why you don't like this core 3 with 2 imports, because it might be the players you don't like. Yeah. So Super Clever, huge team fight monster, great engage sense. His laning's not bad either, but also not the most dominant. And that is important to me in CBLOL because we have so many monster laning top laners that if Super Clever gets shut down early, I worry that he can't team fight. That he won't have the opportunity to team fight. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I do think Super Clever, if there was going to be a top lane promotion, it's this guy or Yups. 100%. Super first time. Yeah, stack top lane. First time with English comps. Oh, true. I always forget that. Yeah, because Academy is all Brazilian and they don't communicate in English. Yeah. You're right. I forgot about that too. Yeah, that makes it even worse, doesn't it? Because I think Cello was on that. Hold on. Cello was on. Was it Minors? I'm trying to remember if that roster had Koreans on it. That choose Minors. Yeah. So Cello had to play with Koreans before, so Cello should be fine. But yeah, Super Clever probably has no experience playing English teams. That is true. Yeah. That is very true. So yeah, C's. I don't know. So I don't know much about the the imports. This is why like I say I really don't want to rank the individual players because I don't know much about these guys. C's is coming from in from Isurus, who is a decent team in the LLA, but they only finished like 4th and 5th. Like, so not the best showings from a Korean player. So to me, this guy is just a huge question mark. Like, I don't know good, bad, or whatever with this guy. Unfortunately, LA is like a complete dead spot for me. I don't watch that at all. Same with the smaller EMEA regions. Looks like he's playing... He played mostly utility and then switched a little bit to some carry games. Nico jungle. What the hell? Well, he lost on it. Yeah, but I'm not filled with hope when I see C's joining this roster. Like, he's not a big name signing. Like when you had Tricks, it was like, okay, that's a big name. You know, when Croc came over, he was dominating, I think, in OS when he came over. So, like, yeah. This guy seems middle of the pack. And again, I don't know. His team could be bad. I don't know enough about this team to comment on it. Envy coming in from Red is solid. I'm happy with it. I like Envy. I think he's a good player. He was invisible in playoffs, which wasn't great. But when I think back to when Envy was on Furia, I think it was. He was on Furia before this, right? I just want to double check before I say the wrong team. Yeah. Back when he was on Furia, he carried that team in playoffs. So it hit or miss, I guess. But I'm okay with him. I think he's a vet. I think he's experienced, and I think he's really solid mid laner you can build on. Cello has played in MNG before. And last split, dude, this guy got elo held in Academy last split because of the whole Los Grandes changes, because of the stupid jungle situation. He just got completely screwed. Like, he had a rotating jungler as well. His top side got messed up, and like Cello was still winning bot lane even when that happened. So I think Cello is like one of the best AD carries in Academy. Locio said that this roster was built in the 2-0 in mind. Let's see if Cello can step up. Ooh, okay. I think I saw why Natuno left. Because even if I replace Cello with Natuno right now, I'm looking at this team. I don't know about C's. I really, really don't. And I kind of want to see, like, if you're building a team for Cello, I almost want to see like a big threat in the mid lane. To buy space for Cello. And Envy to me isn't that big threat necessarily. Like, Envy can be a big threat and he can fulfill multiple roles, but also a lot of games we've seen Envy kind of just be invisible and be a role player. So if this team was built for Natuno, then Envy needs to be a carry. As a secondary threat, at least. Like, yeah. Yeah, so Cello, big shoes to fill. Like, Cello is good, even when he was in CBLOL, and then he got put back to Academy. I said before, I thought Cello deserved a spot in CBLOL. Like, this guy is good. But, is he Natuno? Probably not. He's got really good team fighting. He's got good laning, but he's not as he's not like a big playmaking AD carry. Maybe that'll change. Maybe it's the team that he was dealt. And then Cabby. Cabby sounds familiar. Has he played in CBLOL before? Because that name sounds familiar. Where have I seen him? On Griffin, Live Sandbox. Oh, okay. Probably when he was in Sandbox. But Ultra Liga. This is the Spanish league, right? The Spain league's not bad. So if he can do well there. Yeah, okay. Another like huge question mark player. I'm cautiously optimistic about this guy, but like I'm more optimistic about Cabby than I am about C's. But I am still not completely sold on Cabby. And this is one of the reasons why, like, if you built this roster for Natuno, I'm not surprised Natuno left, right? He's being paired with a support who isn't proven, who might be mechanically solid, but that's like a risk that you're going to have to take. And now Cello has to communicate with Cabby in English as well, and they've got to kind of pop up together. C's trash, Cabby's good? Okay. Okay, if Cabby's good, then that's a good sign. Because let's put it this way. When I look at Cabby, I'm comparing him to, like, who do we have? We've got, like, players like Curry, for imports. I was gonna say Nia, but honestly, that didn't work out. So maybe not Nia. Actually, we didn't have that many imports last split for support role, right? I don't know. Like to me, and Coach Steele was saying this, and I agree with Coach Steele, is that if you're gonna import a Korean player, you're importing them for their hands. Like you want them to pop off right away. And I know that Cabby's coming over from EMEA, from the La Liga, but you're still importing a Korean player, so he needs to be like super hand stiff. Cabby is Curry sales level. Okay. Okay, you know what, Silas? That's fine. If he is, then that's fine, because he has to be. If not, to me, this was a waste of an import and a risky import. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be cautiously optimistic about Cabby here. Yeah, because players like Curry, when they came in, they did really, really well. I was actually super sad when he left Red with Titan. So with that, I'd say Los Grandes. Do we think this team is better than Furia and INTZ? You have emotional Mira Ubercat have emotional damage caused by Silo and MNG. Is he a fan of that? No, bro. It wasn't his fault. Like, okay, wait, who was on that roster? I actually didn't think Silo was the problem with that roster. That was the Doran, Hugado, Annie, drop, Silo. Bro, okay. No. Ubercats, no. So, that roster gave me PTSD from Hugado. Specifically, Hugado gave... Yeah, that roster of Fugado griefed me, man. I was so... That one hurt. Doran wasn't impressive to me either. I actually thought Cello and Annie were the two sort of bright shining points. Cello way better than Drop? No. Yeah, Hugado was the one who gave me the most PTSD in that team. That's why when I saw Hugado play again last bit, I don't remember if I said on the podcast. I think I said on Gringos Liberados. Like, I was just dying when I saw Hugado back in CBLOL. Yeah, actually, that's true. I didn't think Drop was bad by any means. I thought Cello was better, but not by a lot. Like, I thought either could have played, and it was okay for that Netshoes Miners roster. So I don't know why Drop just suddenly vanished as well. Maybe it was a choice by Drop that he didn't want to pursue Pro anymore, because a lot of times players end up leaving because it's really, really hard to get anywhere with that. But yeah, I don't know. I saw Cello last split as well. I thought he got elo held. I think Cello was still really good by Academy standards, and I think he can play in CBLOL. So I guess we'll see Mira Ubercats whether or not so gives us PTSD again. So I guess the question now is, drop to Inside Politics. Ooh, okay, that's kind of rough. Hope he didn't do anything wrong, but yeah. He won 2 championships on T1 and the last one on 0 Tenacity. Are we talking about Cabby or Drop, or hold on, who are we talking about here? Because yeah, you're talking about Cabby. Okay. Last one, he didn't win the 0 Tenacity one. Like I think the regular season they won, but or maybe the European Pro League season one. I don't know enough about EMEA, unfortunately. Oh, he did win one. There we go. Season 9 playoffs. Okay. Yeah. True. I mean, that is a good sign for Cabby. Again, I'm just not familiar with the levels of EMEA too much. I only know like LFL. So the big question is this Los roster better than Fury and INTZ? Let's compare them to Los Grandes, because Liberty... Wait, where the hell is Los Grandes? Oops. Overshot. Oh, sorry. Is this Los Grandes team better than Furia? That's what I was looking at. INTZ better than INTZ for sure. Yeah, I'd take Los over INTZ. That's fair. Over Furia, IU Zai, Cello. I'm actually kind of hyped to see IU go up against Cello, actually. That should be really fun. INTZ is better slowly because it's the player's most last chance, and how she solid him. That is true. I do like the coaching staff for INTZ. I just don't like the roster changes they made this time. Excuse me. I don't know. I've seen Damage play with Rage, and when Damage plays with Rage, he does more damage to his own team. And Ithusa is new. I just don't hold up much hope for Ty in the top lane to be a carry. And Ithusa... My biggest problem with INTZ, I just think they lack carries right now. And I'm not confident that they will develop the carries to split. Okay, I think Los I would put below Furia. Just because I trust Tuts, IU, and Zaya a bit more. And their coaching staff is also really solid. Whereas INTZ's... Los Grandes' coaching staff to me... they got Dion Ray, actually. I don't... It is so weird seeing Dion Ray and Zero split up. I've seen them together for so long. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, dropping Nia. Like, I understand Nia had some bad games, but damage is odd to me. I think he's stable. Yeah. It's more stable. Acomodadinos do Carolha? I'm going to Google Translate that because I have no clue what that means. Accommodations. Okay. FN accommodations. Got it. Okay. Yeah. I think I put Los below Furia, but I think I put them above INTZ. And hey, INTZ, Aoshi, prove me wrong, please. Like, I am a big fan of Aoshi as a coach. I just think lack of damage. Ty's not going to be a big carry. Ithusa needs time to develop. I think Ithusa can be a big carry. And maybe by the end of season, Ithusa surprises me if they make it into playoffs, and then they pop off from there. But, yeah, right now, no. Ninja Kiwi is a good team fighter, but his laning is not strong enough to get them there. So, yeah, put damage in a tank engage. He's going to be all right. Put him in Enchanter. He's burst in Academy. If you're ahead of both of them as well. Yeah, almost. Just 4 more teams. We're getting to the fun teams. But my final thoughts on Los Grandes is I don't know this team. Actually, you know what? No. I have a question mark here. Why? I'm just going to put Los Grandes in the question mark here. This question mark here is not worse than Challengers. It's just I don't know what the hell to expect from this team. Like, yeah. I like it on paper. But there's a lot of uncertainty and dev pieces. So because I'll put in the question mark here. This is not worse. This is just I don't know what to expect. There's too many, just way too many question marks for me. Okay, fun, loud, loud for me. Finals, 100%. Like they've got the best top in the league. They still got the best mid in the league. And they still got the best jungle in the league. I'll put a question mark on this one because Melrang may be able to beat Croc. I think Croc and Melrang actually have a not dissimilar style. I think Croc has learned to farm a bit more, but they both like to gank really early, really aggressively. And they've got a top 3 AD carry. I still don't think Root was the best last split, but B-Boy's gone. Sad. B-Boy has gone to NA. Let's go. Shopify Rebellion. TSM. Or not TSM, but you know what I mean. Redbird joining. Okay, this is a... I don't know how you guys feel about Redbird joining Kaboom, because I know... No, I'm not going to stop being a pain to silence. You know, I was actually kind of warned that I have to be careful about being too biased on stream. So, like, on the official broadcast, I can't be as biased anymore. But this is my stream. I can be biased. Yeah, Redbird. Everybody says Redbird's, like, really, really, really good. But, like, everybody's like, oh, you know, he just needs a good team. Because he's been elo held the last little while, too, right? He was on Kaboom, and then before Kaboom, he was on, oh yeah, the Furia roster which struggled, and then the Flamengo roster that struggled. Actually, no, he was on the good Furia roster with Natuno. Excuse me. Yeah, this roster had no reason to flop. I mean, he was solid with Natuno. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't bad. But I also don't think he was that amazing. And then, oh, he was on the good Flamengo roster too. So Redbird wasn't even elo held. Yeah, he's an amazing person for sure. Like, yeah, I think we interviewed him. He's really nice, really chill. Actually, most of the CBLOL players are really nice and really chill. I kind of expected them to like flame a bit harder, but maybe it's because English not first language. They didn't want to like, flame in a different language. Yeah. Trade Ranger for Goot. Yeah, but that was okay. Like, I don't think Goot was a bad trade. Honestly, Goot was performing Ranger better than Ranger at that time. Like, Ranger was struggling a little bit. Yeah, so actually he's not been elo held, and he just hasn't been able to win. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything bad. Like, he's okay, but he ain't Seos, that's for sure. So, I think it's a downgrade for Loud, but unless Loud imported a... No. To me, the only way Loud could have kept the same level within Brazil would have been to pick up Pro Delta. If you didn't pick up Pro Delta, then it was always going to be a downgrade. There's no other Brazilian support who I think is even close. Or Frosty. You could have picked up Frosty if you wanted mechanical lane, but I don't think Root is playing for mechanical lane. So, overall, still a bit of a downgrade, but only slightly. Like, Redbird's fine. I think this is a very stable bot lane of Root and Redbird. I don't think they'll win lane as much, but Root wasn't a lane dominant AD carry anyways. So, like, he wins lane sometimes, but it's not like he plays to win lane. Not the way, like, Titan or Natuno or Brunsey does. So, yeah, I know where Prodelsa is. You did better than him and got playoffs. Yeah, Viego was on meta and Good was on OTP at the time, so that's all right. Yeah. Yeah, but to me, Loud is still on top, right? They just won the 3-peat. They're the team to beat. This is not a significant downgrade. So I still think Loud is finals and the team to beat. Okay. Pain Gaming. Pain Gaming, they kept the top 3. That's fine. This is a team that knows how to win. Weiser is still a top 3. Dinkido is still a top 3. Karaoke will do what he needs to do. Like, I don't want to talk bad about Karaoke because I think he's a good jungler, but it's just hard sometimes to talk about junglers and supports because the data doesn't step up. This is, of course, the big deal, right? Titan. Top 1 wipe championship. Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. Exactly. You know where it's at. Pay number 1. Okay, so legitimately though, Titan stepping in, this is a huge upgrade. And I think this is what, like, okay, how do I put this? I think B-Voy was the best statistical AD carry last split. Like, data-wise, B-Voy was the best. But the problem with Pain last year was they needed a trigger. And that's why I kind of didn't want to talk about Karaoke too much, because this guy was not it. He was not the playmaker that Pain needed. So, Titan is a playmaker. Like, this guy is playmaking from an AD carry role, which probably isn't a good idea. So what I'm hoping is that Titan screams at Karaoke hard enough that Karaoke engages, or Curry engages. Like, because the thing between Titan and Curry, I actually really like this bot lane. They were such a strong bot lane. Titan loves his mechanical supports. Titan and Frosty looked good, but they didn't look as connected as Titan and Curry did. So I'm hoping Curry's back, and then they get the engage they need. So, because Curry's mechanically insane. Like, when I'm talking about, like, when you report a Korean, you want them to be able to instantly play. Yeah, that's Curry in a nutshell. So, yeah, I think this is a massive upgrade from Pain Gaming. Now the question is, of course, can they break the curse of Eternal Second? Because even if it's an upgrade, I'm a little bit scared that Titan might throw games by trying to engage as an AD carry. That's what happened with Red, right? Like, so if Titan gets reined in a little bit, I think they win, because I think Titan is probably still one of the top 3 AD carries in Brazil. So meta is carry jungle so that Pain can get second place once again. No, not like this. No. I'm already scarred from Eternal Second, dude. That's like, what, 5 splits in a row now that Pain just ended second? Like, I can't, man. Like, how do they even? Yeah, but okay, so I'm going to put Pain first because I'm a Pain Zeta. Disclaimer, you know, that's fine. But I genuinely think Pain is top 2 teams. Like, this roster is one of the strongest Brazilian rosters you can field, plus Curry. And I consider Weiser Brazilian at this point. He's married Brazilian. He stayed there. He's going to get residency this year after the split anyway. So, Weiser Korean. I don't care. If this goes under the split, 3 Korean split 2. I wonder though, if they go 3 Korean, who do you swap out for a Korean? Like, do you get a Korean jungler instead of Karaoke at that point then? Because, I mean, Dinkido's staying literally for Titan. And I think Titan's really solid. Like, I think AD carry is the one role that you shouldn't import in Brazil. Like, we've got so much AD carry talent in here. Okay, Red. Yeah, Karaoke, yeah, makes sense. Okay. Red, they kept FNB and Aegis, and then they kind of swapped everybody else up. But even then, I think it's upgrades. So the cousins are reunited. That's huge. Aegis and Greftar are back together. That's huge, because I don't think Greftar is a top 3 mid without Aegis. But with Aegis, I think Greftar becomes really, really, really good. Because the way Red won with Greftar and Aegis was Aegis would actually play really aggressive and invade, and Greftar would sack lane to roam. To support Aegis, not to roam. Because what we've seen from Greftar this last year has been either he roams and loses lane, or he stays in lane, wins lane, and then doesn't transition his lead to other places. So I think a large part of that was also because Grell just does not know how to play with this team. So like with VKS, it was just get Grell hit or die. So now that the cousins are reunited, I think this is really good. I think Greftar becomes a top 3 mid when he plays with Aegis specifically. So upgrade. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. Wokes, I think Dinkido is out till Titan agreed to join. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Probably Dinkido. Karok has been there for so long. I'm starting to believe he's the CEO's son. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, there's some players who just feel like franchise players. Like I was actually shocked when Titan left Red Canids. I didn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. I thought they were trolling. And then Titan actually put out the official statement with Red Canids, and I was like, oh wow. Yeah. Karaoke is like that with Pain, I guess. But the thing is, that's the problem too. It's like we don't have a lot of good jungle options in Brazil. Like, who would you pick over Karaoke? Like, Desamis and Goot are up and coming junglers, but they're not better than Karaoke right now. And Pain wants to win right now. So it's like, I guess that's why you import maybe. Titan left and Brunsey comes in. This is huge. I think right now, my thought is that Brunsey is the most mechanical AD carry in Brazil right now. Like, I think in laning, like if you 1v1, Brunsey beats Root, Brunsey beats B-Voy. His team fighting is where I think Brunsey has a little bit of problems. His positioning, I don't want to say is bad. His positioning is good for damage. But sometimes good for damage is not good for health, you know? So he steps out, he does the damage, and then he gets 2-shot because he stepped out a little bit too far. So this to me is almost like a side grade. Like, better laning, but riskier mid-late game. But I think Brunsey's really, really good. So yeah, I think Red didn't lose out by trading him. And if you're going to lose Titan anyways, then yeah, Brunsey's a perfectly fine pickup. I don't know about comms, because I think one of the problems was Titan's leadership is too strong, and Red needed a change. I think Aegis is probably going to step up and do more leadership with Greftar. So I don't know, like maybe better if Brunsey's not too big a voice, that's fine. Jojo coming in with Brunsey is good. This is one of the best bot lanes. I think in terms of bot lanes, Jojo, Brunsey, Titan, Curry. I'm trying to see who else is there. Mika, Netuno, Seos. Okay. Yeah, I think my three best top lanes, like the top 3 top lanes for me, is Titan, Curry, Brunsey, Jojo, and Seos, Netuno. And 2 of them are because the AD carry is insanely cracked. Netuno and Seos, I think, will be more in Seos. But I'm super excited for this roster. This roster is just... To me, if I'm talking about the bag roster or like super teams, I think Red is better than Kaboom for super teams. So, yeah. I could see Red in the finals, easy. Wokes, I don't know about FMB. Feels like he's the next big thing in top for so long. Yeah, I kind of agree. He's the best Brazilian top laner to ever win. He's still really good, though. Like, he was one of the few top laners who picked up Cassante well in CBLOL during the regular season. Yeah, I think FMB is fine. It's not FMB's fault that they're not winning championships. He's still a top laner. So, yeah. So I think Red super team with slightly better communication than last split. So, yeah, I'm really hyped on Red Canids. I think these 3 are my top 3. And I could see any of them making finals or any of them not making finals and ending like 3rd. Then, okay, Silas, what you've been waiting for? Frosty staying as reserve. Yeah, Frosty's really good, by the way. I'm actually a bit surprised that no team picked up Frosty, because mechanically this guy's insane. Like that's why I said like Cabby has to be Coriseo's level, because if you're not that good, then Los Grandes should have just picked up Frosty for Solo instead. Mira Ubercat, are you also a Kate Stars fan? Okay, so Pain fans are Painzettas, right? And then what are Loud fans and what are Kate Star fans called? Like, do they have a name or are they just like Kate Star fans? Like, yep, they have a name, or yep, they are just fans. I actually asked. Oh, Laudettes, right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, Laudinos. Laudettes, yeah. When I went to Korea to watch the play-ins, I actually met some of the Loud fans and I asked them like, because you know like how Pain fans we have like the different cheers like Chadi Sao, like it's not just like go Pain go. So I was asking like how do Loud fans cheer, and they're just like go loud. So I was like, but most loud, no, just go loud. I was like, oh, okay. Guerreros, warriors, or Kate Zetas. Okay, Guerreros. I like Guerreros more than Kate Zetas personally. Kate Zetas feels a bit too close to Pain Zeta, but Guerreros. Okay, warriors. Oh yeah, I like that. I saw the trailer too. That Kate Stars put out with the guy in the Full Metal suit. It's so funny, just laughing the entire time. He's putting down chess pieces. That's hilarious. VKS. Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah, I like it. That's one of the things I really like about the Brazilian crowd is like you all have your unique chants and everything. You know, it's not just like, oh, screaming like VKS. Like, NA's kind of lame that way. Where they just scream out the initials. Okay. Kate Stars, let's go. The only player they kept from the Kate Stars roster was Gigo. And a lot of this is because Coach Seal is like completely just blowing things up. He's got a whole different philosophy for coaching than most other coaches. So I like Gigo. First of all, I think Gigo is a really strong top laner. I don't think Gigo was top 3 last split. So I need to cough and review for a second. Sorry, my throat is just killing me over here. Yeah, I thought Gigo was not top 3 last split. He was not the Korean Slayer that he used to be. He kind of fell off, and you can't even say the team didn't play for him. Like, Kate Stars last split played the top side, like, almost the entire time. Trigo Damage were left on an island, and Grell, like, perma-camp top lane. So, I'm going to say, I'm disappointed in Gigo last year. But we know how good Gigod can be, and he still had pop-off moments. So, I think he still has it in him. And I think Gigo can be a really good top laner. Yeah, so this is a good piece to keep behind. Grell getting kicked, I think, was for the best. I did not like Grell. Sorry, I shouldn't say that I don't like Grell as I don't know Grell as a person, but I really didn't like the way Grell played on the Kate Stars roster because it was Grell or bust. So I don't think you can have Grell on a team unless you build the entire team to play for Grell, and it has to be jungle carry meta. It was not jungle carry meta. So I think Grell actually screwed Kate Stars pretty hard last split. Excuse me. Yeah, so Desamis coming in is interesting. I know Seal is very high on Desamis. And if you all know Trajan, yeah, Smalley's just waiting for Mortius to develop. Yeah, Smalley going to fight for his life soon because Mortius is actually correct. Yeah, no, Miru Bukat, yeah. Agree with you. I was watching the stream yesterday when Seal was talking about it. I agree. Like, you can't, it's either you build an entire team on him or you can't have him on the team. And this is not the right meta for Grell, unfortunately. So, kind of rough for Grell. But for Seal, it just makes sense, right? Desamis, so if you all know Trajan, Trajan loves this guy. He loves Desamis so much. I think, personally, Desamis is a bit of a choker. Because we've heard really good things about Desamis in scrims, but like on stage, he just doesn't perform that well. But he's got a lot of potential. Same as Groot, by the way. Like, I have the same thinking about Groot. I think Groot is I've heard good things about Groot in scrims, but just on stage he doesn't perform. But both of them are young. They have a lot of potential. So I'm looking at Coach Seal for this. Like, Seal's got to fix this. If not, Desamis is not going to work. That's it. I think he's a good building piece. Oh, and by the way, this is 100% dev roster. Like, I think Seal was saying year 2 is when they start to win championship. Yeah, so this roster is a dev roster for sure. Tukui played in NACL or in Academy for a little bit. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think Tukui was that good. Let me see what he's done more recently. Yeah, because he played for Team Go. Before that, he played for FlyQuest. So it wasn't even Academy. He just played straight up LCS, sorry. Yeah, I was not a fan of Tukui in the LCS. In the LFL, he's done better for himself. And I heard that he did well in the LFL. So I think middle of the pack, mid laner. Let's see what he did. REJ, so very meta picks. Any stats that stand out? KDA, high on LeBlanc. Okay. High on Azir. Okay. LeBlanc, Ari. Wait, this is Summer, yeah. 44 KDA and Ari. Damn. Died like once in all those games. That's kind of crazy. Okay. So he looks like a safe mid laner. Actually, I don't see his stats because I don't think his stats were that good when he was in the LCS. 2022. Yeah, you can see he struggled a lot more in the LCS, unfortunately. On Vigar, 20 KDA. Damn. Yeah. So still low deaths even when he was playing in the LCS, but also just lower kills, assists. He looks like a civ mid laner. I think he's just going to be middle of the pack in CBLOL, to be honest. But I know that he's there just more to, like, he's potential, I guess. I don't know. I think he'll be okay in CBLOL. The big thing to me is more how Desamis works with Tukio. Because if he can't work well with Tukio, this doesn't work. It's a two-man unit. This is not like where you pick the jungler to enable the mid laner or you pick the mid laner to enable the jungler. I think they just need to play together. If these two can work together, then I think K-Stars will have a good run. If they can't, then it's going to be terrible. Smalley, this guy's a placeholder, according to Seal. And good atmosphere communicator. Yeah, I don't know much about Smalley, unfortunately, because he's coming in. Like I said, the only ERL I have passing familiarity with is LFL. That's why, like, Tukio I know a bit more, but Smalley I don't know anything about this guy. Oh, he's from the Portuguese. This is the Portuguese league, right? Oh no, the German league. German league. Okay, not Portuguese league. Pokal. What tournament is this? Germany. Okay. Yeah, the German league, I don't think is a very strong league. He's not performing well there. I am worried that he's going to get stomped. Like, not to knock on other, like, not to knock on the ERLs, but I think CBLOL's strongest role has always been the bot lane. And there's, like, a ton of really good bot laners. Like, we were just talking about top 3, you know, Brunsey, Jojo, Kuri Titan, Netuno Seos. Yeah, I don't think Smalley's going to survive that. I think Smalley's going to get run over. He's just going to get destroyed in lane by some of these guys. I could be wrong. Like, I don't know enough about the German league, and I don't know about Smalley personally to be able to say that, you know, that he's bad or whatever. But at the same time, if you're telling me that if Seal is saying that this guy is just a placeholder for Mortius, then yeah, that's not a good sign. Mortius is really good, by the way, to be fair. But I think right now, at this very second, Cello is still better than Mortius. So if you're telling me Smalley is not as good as Mortius, then he's not as good as Cello, which tells me he's probably like bottom 3 AD carry in CBLOL. Yeah. And again, that could be completely wrong. I'm just going transitive properties right now. So we'll have to see. Pro Delta on K-Stars. I am so happy Pro Delta got a team. I was so worried when Payne last second picked up Curry because I think most of the teams had already locked their a lot of the players already. So I'm so glad to see Pro Delta join Kate Stars. I know Coach Steele was saying, "Oh, Pro Delta got screwed last year by Pain." I disagree. I think he had time. Doesn't make sense to me. Feels like it's a CO known player, which will help him put his style on the team. Yeah, you know what, Wilkes? 100% agree with you there. I completely agree. It doesn't make sense to me either, but it would help him to set up the team. And he has already said that this Kate Stars are a dev roster. I think actually if you put a real AD carry here, like if you put Cello or Mortius on this team instead of Smalley, I'd actually have put this team probably middle of the pack. Like I think they make playoffs. With Smalley, I don't know. Oh, whoops. Hello? Okay, well, that's on there. Yeah, with Smalley on the team, I don't know if they make playoffs, is my big issue right now. But I'm glad they picked up Pro Delta because I don't think Pro Delta got screwed by Pain. He got one entire split where he was the sixth man on the team. He got to watch all the games. He got to communicate with the teams. He got to practice with the team. And then last split, Pro Delta came in and absolutely smashed. Like I said, I almost wish Pro Delta had gone to Loud. Well, as a Pain fan, I don't wish that he went to Loud. I'm happier this way. But I think for Loud, if Loud had taken Pro Delta, I'd be more scared of Loud than I am with Redbird. Because Redbird's good, but Pro Delta is absolutely cracked. I think that Pro Delta is going to be the next Eos. So I'm super glad Pro Delta got a good team. And working under Coach Steele with Mortius, I am looking forward to that. When Mortius Pro Delta is going to be a bot lane, I would love to watch. So super happy. I think this is a great pickup. Pain would never sell to them. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I always forget that, the teams like might block transfers and sales. Yeah, especially since we had the Dinkido Tinon swap back in what was that, 2 years ago, and then Pain got completely screwed after that. So Kate Stars, I think it's actually not a bad team. But because it's so heavily into developmental, like I said, if you had picked a bit different AD carry, I think I put them in playoffs. But because you picked Smalley, and I don't know Smalley, I could be completely wrong. To me, Kate Stars is like 6th, 7th. Did I put them in challengers? You know what? I will put them in the challenger tier for now. But I think they're 6th, 7th because of that. Because of AD carry role, and Brazil is too stacked in the AD carry position. But I think that let's talk about dev rosters a little bit because I have D. You know what? Let me just call this dev. D for dev. It's not a bad tier. It's just a dev tier. In that case, let's put Kate Stars there into the dev tier. Okay, if we're talking about developmental rosters, though, out of all of them, I think Kate Stars has a potentially really high ceiling to come through. But I think their mid AD carry might need to be revamped. We'll have to see how that one goes. We obviously know that the AD carry is a placeholder. But even Tukui, I am not sold on Tukui being that good. For Fluxu, this dev roster, I do not hold out that much hope for. I think Kojima is really, really good. But Sting and Fu, big question marks for me. I don't think they're ready right now, and I don't know how they'll develop, because I think if you put a player who's not ready into CBLOL, you can actually break them too quickly. And I feel like that might happen to Fu. You might break Fu. Sting has played CBLOL a little bit before, so I think he'll be okay, but he wasn't that amazing the last time I saw him. So, as a dev piece, I don't know if I feel like that's a good dev piece. And then who's the other one? So it's Fluxu and Liberty. Liberty, I don't think this is a good move from Liberty. I've said it before. Like, they tried it already once. They just take an academy team and promote it. They tried to do the same thing here. I think you're going to break makes. I think Piloto has a low ceiling. He's had a shot a couple of times now, Piloto. And he's a solid, like, placeholder, but I don't know about his ceiling. I think Mikhail's not a good dev piece. He's already capped out. So I think Liberty's, as far as developmental goes, Liberty is not going to do well. Fluxu is going to be a bit of a question mark for me. I think the Kate Stars roster probably has the best potential for development. So I'll try to put INTZ down a tier. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, INTZ or Kate Stars? Who do I think? No, yeah, that's fine. I think I'll leave INTZ above Kate Stars for now, just because I think Split 1. To me, Split 1 is a lot about how quickly teams can mesh together and how well existing teams can take advantage of the existing synergy. And I think what we've historically seen from CBLOL is that the fresh new teams often don't do as well in Split 1, and they pop off more in the playoffs if they can make it, whereas existing teams often do better in Split 1. So I think for Split 1, because you have Yampi, Tai, Ninja Kiwi, Damage, all these guys have CBLOL experience. Yampi and Ninja Kiwi have already played together before. I think that the existing experience for CBLOL is why I'm putting INTZ up here. Split 2, if this was Split 2 and all these teams have played together for a while, I might put INTZ lower, but I guess we kind of see. We'll kind of see. Same with Kaboom. Kaboom's in a very awkward spot for me as well, because I think they're in a race against time for Melrang. Like, how fast do teams adapt to Melrang and how fast does Melrang adapt to the team? So that's why I have him playoffs and not top 3, because I think in the beginning of the split, Kaboom is going to crush in the beginning of the split with how much mechanics they have. But by the time playoffs come around, I think teams will have them figured out. Okay, so yeah, that's my tier list. I'll post it on Twitter as well as some of my takeaways. But yeah, I really do think that this year it's like dev teams versus winning teams, like teams that are built to win and teams that are built to develop, and or who are just broke and picked weird players. The teams that I'm talking about. Other than that, y'all have any questions for me while I'm still on? I'm down to chat for a little bit. If not, I'm gonna have lunch. Also, I cannot wait for CBLOL to start. I am so excited for this split. I think overall the league hasn't leveled up, but I think the top teams have gotten better and the weaker teams have gotten weaker because they're developing. So overall, I think the league is probably about the same or a little bit weaker, but there's a lot of potential. And the international tier 2 tournament too. I was curious. You were hopeless, but with Ritbird sub Seos, you think Pain have a chance? Bro, what about Titan, man? I was more hope. I had more hope because of Titan joining Pain and Gaming than because they lost Seos. Yeah, like I said, I'm as a Pinzetta, I'm happy that Loud didn't pick up Pro Delta instead. But I still think Redbirds is a really solid player. I just think Loud as a team would benefit more from sheer mechanics than from game knowledge and experience, because they're already an experienced team. So the experience that Redbirds brings is less valuable to me personally than the hands that Pro Delta has, or even Frosty had. But yeah, it is what it is. And it's still not a bad thing. I'm happy for Redbird. I think it's good for Redbird. And I hope that Redbird does well on this roster. He deserves it. Okay, but it looks like that's it. It was a pleasure to chat with you guys again. I am so sorry, once again, that I didn't do more content in the off-season. I ended up getting busy with collegiate stuff in North America. So I was casting a couple of collegiate stuff. I still have one more finals to cast this Friday, I think. It might be rescheduled, I'm not sure. And yeah, and I actually did record some videos while I was in Japan and Korea, and I also tried cooking pao de queijo. But man, the video editing is really tough. I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to put the video out because I'm struggling to video edit and I'm really bad at it and I'm kind of lazy. So yeah, but thanks for the recipe, Stoken. It was good. I screwed it up, so I'll be making it again later to make it right. It's supposed to be like chewy on the inside, right? Like mochi almost on the inside. Is that right? Or did I screw it up really, really, really badly? Because the outside was like crust, and then the inside was like mochi on mine. Well, either way. It was still good. Maybe I just like the cheese. But yeah. Okay. That's it for now then. Peace out, all of y'all. And hopefully some of the other casters should be streaming soon. Maybe we'll do Gringos Liberados preseason episode. Look out for that. But for now, have a good day. Thanks for coming by. Bye-bye.